going on, Spurs family? Welcome to Spurs Talk with the Hano. This is our week recap, but first and foremost, I hope everybody sent their prayers out to Popovich and his family. There's no details on what the medical emergency was, but we want to respect their privacy and just hope a speedy recovery so he can be back on the sideline. I mean, he's been on the sideline for ages. He's been our coach for ages. As long as I was born, that's for sure. I mean, well, no, I was born before he was here, but he's been here quite most of my life. Most of my life he's been the Spurs coach, the head honcho, and he's a pillar. He's the reason we had a dynasty. He was the coach that lead the dynasty. I ain't gonna say he's the main reason. Because a lot of important people behind the scenes and stuff helped build the team together, but he was the general. He led them. He led them on the floor, and he led us to a lot of victories, a lot of good memories. So it's kind of weird watching games and Popovich is not on the sideline. I don't know about y'all, but it really, really, really feels odd watching the games and not, seeing Pop there. But I hope he have a speedy recovery. I hope he comes back soon to coach up the guys. But yeah, let's talk about it. Our first week was pretty good, pretty solid when it comes to the results. Even though a lot of players didn't really particularly play that well, but we was getting the results. We went 3-3. This week we went 1-3, I believe. Yeah, I think it was 1-3. We won one game this week, so. It's a lot of positives. Even though we went 1-3, it's a lot of positives there. Now I think we should have won the Clippers game. I think we gave the Clippers the win. I mean, we just unraveled. We had a big lead, and we didn't put them to the sword. We didn't put them out. I think we shot ourselves out the game, and I think that's the problem that we have. I don't know if it's who's going with the launching of threes like that. I think we was playing fast. We should have slowed it down, and controlled the game more when we had that huge lead. But it's a young team, but I expect players like Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes to settle everything down and take back the control of the game when the Clippers was chipping away. I think we should have won that game. I think we was the better team. We had the better talent, but we didn't manage the game well. And I think we kind of gave away a win that should have been a win for us, but it ended up being a loss for us. The other games, again, it's the consistency. We not playing defense consistently through the whole 48 teams make a lot of runs against us. Down the Rockets game, that's a heated game. That's a rivalry game. So there's always going to be intensity there. But we just I liked Stephen Castle. He did a terrific job on Jalen Green that game. That game showed that was the game that made me say, okay, yeah, he's everything I thought he was defensively. He's going to be a terrific player defensively. And then the last couple games, the game last night against the Jazz and the game before that, you start to see him turning it on offensively. If he can get it going offensively, like I said, he's going to be a terrific player for us going forward. We seen Sohan go out with a fractured thumb, I believe. That was the downer because we needed Sohan last night. I think Sohan would have, made a big difference last night, definitely against Collins down there. Collins was just bullying our players down low. And I think if Sohan was on the floor, those buckets that he was getting late in that third quarter and that fourth quarter, those buckets weren't going to be there for him that easy anyway if we had Sohan out there on the floor. So Sohan is a big part of what we're going to do going forward defensively and offensively. I think he's our best screen and roll guy, which is crazy to think because we got Wemby. But I think Sohan is clearly our best screen and roll guy. He knows how to set a good hard screen, and he cuts to the basket. He cutting with the with bad intentions. He ain't going in there soft. And I love him. I really, really love Sohan. I really didn't like him last year at the point guard. He's really should be nowhere near that position. Um, I don't like him out there on the perimeter. Sometimes he make a lot of bad decisions, but as a screen and go guy, he's our best player when it comes to that. He's our best. I think he's our best defender as well. I think Castle might have something to say about that in a few years, but as of now, I think he's our best defender. He can guard multiple positions and do a heck of a job at it. So when I think if we had him, we probably would have won that game last night against the Jazz, or did a way better job. Um, so my issues with how we are playing, and this is not just this week, the week before, I have issues with the launching of threes. Like it's just bothering me now, especially when Victor shoot threes. Now, can he shoot it? Yes, but he's not been shooting the ball well from behind the arc this season so far. I think last year he was like low 30% from the 3 point line, so he's not really a 3 point shooter that's going to be like lights out. He's more like a streaky shooter. Like last night when he's hot, but then he gets cold. Um, I think we can get easier buckets when he's in the paint against, even if it's against a big guy. He don't really have to go all the way out on the perimeter and shoot step back threes. If he get it in the mid post, do a rocker step, jab step, and use his ball handling ability, which is not that great. He loses the ball every time somebody steps in front of him and stops his path. He kind of, loses the ball a bit. I see that a lot. If he can't get by a person, the person steps in front of him, the ball starts to fumble around a bit. He kind of loses control a little bit. But if he's close to the paint, you get it, rocker step, jab step, try to make the defender go one way so you can take have the defender momentum go one way while you going the other way, even though he's still there. Once you get a step or two in the lane and you put your arm up, it's 2 points. He did that one time last night. He only did it one time, and it's like when I seen it, I was like, why don't he do that all the time? He grabbed the ball. I can't forget who was guarding him. I can't remember the name. I don't think it was Markkinen. Markkinen. I can't remember his name, but he's a good player. I would love him on our team. But he got the ball around the foul line area, I think, and he swung through and then went to the basket and got a layup. It was clean. And I don't understand why he don't be more aggressive attacking the basket. He relies too much on that jump shot. I think him attacking the basket will open up the jump shot more. It would give him, more open space, because they'll be starting to worry about him going to the basket. That they will start to lay off him a bit and let him have the three rather than have him dominating us in the paint. Dominating them in the paint. So yeah, so I'm really uncomfortable with that. Like, I have the stats up here. This week, in these 4 games this week, he's averaging attempts, 3-point attempts of 7.5, but his total field goals, he's averaging 16. So that's almost half his shots is 3-point shots, and he's 7'4". That shouldn't happen. For me, that's unacceptable. But then again, I don't know if it's coming from him or coming from the top. Or this is what they want to do. They want to go to this 3-point shooting type of thing. And I'm glad that I wasn't the only one thinking that, because Sean Elliott was talking about that during the game last night, where he you don't want to shoot that many threes. If it's not going, it's okay to attack the basket. But we have this thing where we just launching threes when we really need to start being aggressive. Get the old-fashioned 3-point play. But it is what it is. I think he played good last night. Hopefully that will continue when it comes to his outside shooting. If he's going to be shooting like that, hopefully he continues to shoot like he shot last night. Like I said, Stephen Castle, I spoke about Stephen Castle. I think he's starting to get comfortable with the league now, and offensively he's starting to be aggressive. Defensively, he's showing that he can do it. These 4 games, this week he's averaging 13 points. His 3-point shooting is not that good, but he was, he shot the ball well last night, was showing that he's growing in confidence from shooting the ball from out there. Collins is going to be Collins. I like him every time he's in the game. He plays physical. He plays rough, and I like him when he's playing like that. I like him as I really would like to see Sandro more, but Zach Collins, he's our best inside scorer, and sometimes we need those inside shots. But reason why I like Sandro more, in a sense, because he can stretch the floor when it comes to the 3-point shot. I think he's more of a consistent outside shooter. He ain't had many minutes. He only had 8 minutes, but he's shooting 50% from the 3-point line. But Collins has found his shot. These 4 games, he was shooting 44% from the 3-point line. So I would like to see that pair with Victor in the game. I think it will open up the lane a bit more for him to be able to do that. When you have when we usually have Sohan, and they kind of pack the lane a little bit. But yeah, so Devin Vassell made his return. I think we need him drastically, because if Victor is getting tired with 7 minutes within a quarter, and Chris Paul as well get taken out sometime at the same time as Victor sometimes, we need a player out there that's going to continue to put pressure on a defense, on an opposing team. And I really believe that, Vassell has to have a big year. He's our second best player, second best offensive player, if not the best offensive player. How Victor been playing, I'm starting to think that he's probably going to be our best offensive player when it comes to getting his own shot. Victor can get his own shot, but he's only getting his own shot by doing step-back threes and step-back jumpers. That's not really that consistent. Vassell can hit that shot consistently at a high clip, and sometimes he drives to the basket and get shooters open. So Vassell is offensively, he's the complete package. Is he more talented than Wemby? I don't know. Wemby's going to have a lot of things. He'll have a lot of advantages when it comes to offense, but I think Vassell was our best overall offensive player. And that's no slight to Wemby. I think Wemby is our franchise player, is our number one option. If we use him correctly, I think he'll be unstoppable in the years to come. But as far as overall, what a person offers, Vassell, you can't get up on him because he can drive. He's going to drive. He's going to be aggressive driving. He's not going to settle for step back jumpers. He's not going to bail out the defense. Victor sometimes bail out the defense with step back threes and stuff like that. But it's just that Vassell hit those at a higher clip. He makes those shots at a higher clip. So he's more dangerous. And to have them two on the floor is going to do us good. So I'm interested in see how we do this week, how many games we win this week. I believe we're going to be over 500 this week of games. I believe we're going to win over 500 games with Vassell back. I think we'll be more competitive the week to come rather than better than this week here. So that's all I have for this week recap. I'll see y'all next week on Spurs Talk with the Hano. Peace and blessings. Hope everybody have a good day or had enjoyed their Sunday, whichever way you have it. Peace and blessings.